Hey, what's going on, fam? So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a couple videos and I'm probably going to drop them in the next couple hours here, where I'm probably going to make at least two, but maybe more than two, short videos kind of further expounding on some of the things I spoke on yesterday, the ADOS versus FBA situation. And the reason why I'm going to do that is number one, I know my original video was really long, and I know a lot of people don't have that kind of attention span. So that's one reason why I want to kind of redo the video, but in shorter uh, spurts, I guess. But also because after I went back and listened to the video after I uploaded it, I realized I did misspeak on a few things. So I just kind of want to, you know, restate those a little bit more clearly. Like I know in my last video I misstated. I said that Tariq was getting his info from Talib Kweli. I meant Ebro was getting his information from Talib Kweli. So just a few things like that. And then also last but not least, a lot of short bus Negroes have been making comments to me on Twitter and YouTube trying to counteract the points I make. And I want to go ahead and just reiterate my points one more time for the short bus crowd so that there's no further confusion unless you're just completely don't have the mental capacity to grasp what I'm saying. So anyway, without further ado, this video is just a quick focus on what started this whole ADOS versus tone talk, or ADOS versus Foundational Black American, or this tone talks Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell versus a Tariq Nasheed incident that's popped up over this past weekend. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's again, because in order to actually understand this situation, we need to understand how it started, and we need to look further and deeper at how it started, just so we can really understand what happened here. So again, the first tweet you should see up on your screen is the Ebro tweet. Again, Ebro is pointing out to Tone Talks something that Tariq Nasheed said. Now let's stop right there and let's look at who Ebro is. Now, no, okay. First of all, let's not even look at who Ebro is. Let's look at what Tariq said. Tariq said Trump is actually talking about providing specific tangibles to foundational Black Americans. Yet the Democrats, who Black Americans have been so naively loyal to, are adamant about not doing anything specific for Black Americans. So why should we honestly support the Democrats? So let's stop right there. So that's the problem. This is the tweet. This is the tweet that initially started everything. Is Tariq saying that statement that I just read? Where in that statement does Tariq Nasheed say Black people, Black Americans, ADOS, Foundational Black American, anything of that sort? Anywhere in that statement does Tariq say we should be supporting Trump? This is evidence why we should be supporting Trump. Nowhere in that statement does he say that. Nowhere in that statement. Again, what did he say? What was the final sentence? So why should we be supporting Democrats? You see, people who have been listening to Tariq for a long time, and people who don't just listen to snippets because he's supporting ADOS, but people who have been consistently fans of Tariq and who have been listening to Tariq and how he speaks about racism, first of all, knows that Tariq Nasheed has consistently called out Trump for being a white supremacist. That's number one. Number two, he kind of denigrates immigrants for voting for Trump and calls them out for voting for Trump. That's one of the reasons why he says Black people should not be supporting Trump supporting immigration, is because these people come over here and support Trump. So why would Tariq use the fact that immigrants support Trump as a reason why we should not be supporting immigrants, but then turn around and say Black Americans should also support Trump? If that's the case, then Tariq should be promoting immigration because they're helping boost the numbers of people who will vote for Trump. But again, that he's not saying that. And people who have been consistently listening to him knows that he's not saying that. And clearly, as I pointed out in this statement, and as you can see, because I put it up on the screen now, you cannot find anywhere in Tariq's statement where he said, let's vote for Trump, let's support Trump. What he was saying, let me break this down again for the slow crowd. And again, this is my video exposing why all of this is based in fake outrage. Tariq was saying that the Democrats are so hateful towards black Americans that even obvious blatant racists like Trump are willing to say things as far as what they're willing to do for black Americans that even the Democrats won't even say. Let alone, it's one thing to say it but not do it. Like Marianne Williamson is saying she's supporting reparations, but she won't do it, at least not at the sufficient amount that's needed to actually make reparations worth our time. So it's one, yet Yvette and Tone had no problem not only having a tweet that could be construed as support for Marianne Williamson, but had her racist behind at the conference. And if you want a deeper breakdown on what's wrong with Marianne Williamson, go listen to any one of my other three or all three of my other videos on her. Yet they want to turn around and act like it's just the worst thing in the world to make a tweet that could be misconstrued as supporting Trump. When if you really listen to Tariq, there's no way you can misconstrue it that way because you know Tariq's track record. So again, that's one point of hypocrisy. If we're going to be concerned about being misconstrued about which politician we're supporting, then Yvette and Tone should have been a lot more concerned about having racist Marianne Williamson at their conference, because that could be misconstrued as support for Marianne Williamson. They're all endorsing this racist woman who will not respect the foundational Black American / ADOS plight by consistently coming with a lowball number after she's been told to her face on multiple occasions the correct and adequate amount that we are owed. That is very racist. And it is no different than what Bernie Sanders said, because she used the exact same language about reparations and the correct amount not being feasible. That's what Bernie Sanders said, that reparations weren't feasible. That's almost word for word Marianne Williamson and Bernie Sanders. But Yvette, Carnell, and Tone Talks had them at the conference. That's one point of fake outrage, but I'm not done exposing the fake outrage. Number two, I talked about who this information came from. So now what we're going to have up on the screen is a tweet from Ebro, where Ebro is the one who came out and said, and didn't you ADOS cats get outed for being funded by Nazis or something? And then he adds Talib Kweli. So, Antonio Moore let this dude of all people, Agent Ebro, be the one to put a battery in his back to go after Tariq Nasheed. Ebro is a clown who supports the Harriet movie and gets his information about ADOS from an agent like Talib Kweli. And you are actually concerned about proving the people like him wrong, when if you're getting your information from Talib Kweli, you clearly have no interest in the truth and in data to begin with. So we're really going to spend our energy trying to debunk anti-ADOS trolls who are determined to manipulate and twist everything that ADOS people say and do into something that fits their narrative about ADOS, no matter what you say or do. This is who we're going to be concerned about caping for, or not caping for, but catering to and making sure that they don't. We're going to police Tariq in order to make sure that Ebro can't misconstrue the ADOS movement. It's fake outrage. And again, I think Tone is smarter than to take anything Ebro says seriously. He has to be smarter than this, which makes it look like even further that this really was not about Ebro pointing out to him what Tariq said. It was about Tone waiting for the right opportunity, the right opening to attack Tariq because he already had resentment and jealousy against Tariq. That's what it looks like. Now, even if that's not true, it's still extremely questionable if the reason wasn't that Tone already had it out to get at Tariq. He already was ready to get at Tariq and was just looking for the opening. If that's not true, somebody needs to explain to me why Tone is taking someone like Ebro seriously. That is a problem in itself, that you would even acknowledge anything that Ebro said, especially after what he's shown who he gets his information from. Of course, someone like Ebro is going to be looking for any reason to say ADOS is MAGA because he's talking to people like Talib who have been pushing ADOS is MAGA for months and months and months. And then let me address a few other points to also for the short bus Negroes. As I said before, as I said in my last video, and as I've been saying on Twitter and YouTube, and this is what has been getting me a lot of pushback from the short bus crowd. I've been pointing out how Yvette has, as you can see up on your screen, a history of saying things and doing things that can be misconstrued as supporting Trump. What you see up on your screen is a video with Yvette Carnell defending something Trump said, or defending and agreeing with something Trump said, which is exactly what Tariq Nasheed did. So again, for the short bus Negroes, this is fake outrage because Yvette Carnell has done the exact same thing. And then I know what the response has been already and what it will continue to be. And that's that, oh, well, Yvette wasn't, if you listen to that video, Yvette wasn't really supporting Trump, and she went and during that video, she explained how Trump's policies are harmful to ADOS, and all you have to do is listen to the video to understand that she was saying that Trump was that Trump is right about black poverty, but he's not but she doesn't support Trump. Again, short bus Negro, that's my point in pointing out Tariq's tweet. If you listen to Tariq, if you know his history, you know that he was not supporting Trump. That's why, yes, this is the exact same thing, no matter how much you pro-Yvette trolls try to say it's not. It is the exact same thing, because the exact same defense you give for Yvette, that she's not really supporting Trump, and all you have to do is listen to the video to understand that she's not a Trump supporter. She's just saying that Trump is right in this instance. That's all that Tariq was doing. He was saying that Trump is right in this instance, or right in this particular statement, or again, and he wasn't even saying that Trump was right. He was saying that Democrats, this is how pathetic and detrimental Democrats are towards black people, that redneck racists like Trump are outdoing them rhetoric wise. He didn't say policy wise. He didn't say let's all put on our MAGA hats and get to the polls for Trump. He said rhetoric wise, the Democrats have gotten so bad that you can't even outdo Trump as far as even rhetoric, let alone policy. So again, for the short bus Negro trying to come to me and say that Yvette is not really supporting Trump, I get it. But I'm pointing it out to point out the hypocrisy from Yvette Carnell, because Yvette Carnell has said many things that have been used by people who are already determined to say negative things about the ADOS movement no matter what. But yet Yvette Carnell is not policing her or Tone's talk, or her or Tone's talking points. They only want to police Tariq's because they have a fake outrage towards him. Because Yvette and Tone are not, there's already a narrative being put out there by people like Talib and the Pan-Africans who are saying that ADOS is xenophobic. So if Yvette was not having fake outrage, she would stop criticizing immigration because it plays into the narrative that ADOS is xenophobic. And again, the short bus Negroes will respond to me by explaining why they need to criticize immigration. So stop short bus Negroes. Stop typing your comment right now, because I understand why you are criticizing immigration. I agree with why you are criticizing immigration. The point is that we should not have to tiptoe. And if we are going to keep that energy about tiptoeing because of what anti-ADOS trolls and agents say, then we have to tiptoe around immigration, because anti-ADOS trolls and agents like Talib and Ebro, who gets his information from Talib, are using the anti-immigration talking points to say that the ADOS movement is xenophobic and pro-Trump. They use the anti-immigration talking points as yet another reason to say that the ADOS movement is pro-Trump. So if Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore were truly concerned about Tariq making it seem like the ADOS movement was following Trump, then they would immediately cease and desist. Immediately cease and desist from criticizing immigration, because they are concerned with ADOS MAGA trolls and their narratives, and making it seem like the ADOS's MAGA trolls narratives are true. If you are truly concerned with these ADOS's MAGA trolls, then you will stop saying anything that they have used, and you will stop saying any of the ammo that they have used to say that we are pro-Trump. You will stop criticizing immigration. You will not say anything that sounds like you agree with something that Trump said. You will not do any of that. You will openly support Democrats. You will do everything you can to debunk the ADOS's MAGA, and you will not even give the slightest scintilla of an opening for someone to say that ADOS is MAGA. Or you have the option to ignore the trolls and keep doing what you're doing and keep speaking your truth, no matter who likes it and who doesn't, which is what everybody was doing before, until Yvette and Tone decided to have a fake outrage based on some ADOS's MAGA trolls saying that Tariq is proving that the ADOS movement supports Trump, which is BS. And again, if you want us to tread lightly, and you want to police and have people in the movement tiptoeing because of what the ADOS MAGA trolls say, then Yvette and Tone need to keep that same energy for themselves. And they need to start checking and G-checking their followers who are still criticizing immigration, because that can come off as xenophobic. And somebody like Ebro or Talib Kweli can use a screenshot from an ADOS person or from Yvette or Tone, and use that to say that the ADOS movement is xenophobic. And again, before you short bus Negroes try to justify why you criticize immigration, I get it and I agree. What I'm pointing out is the hypocrisy of tiptoeing based on ADOS is MAGA trolls. It is fake outrage and hypocrisy, no matter how you try to paint it. End of story. And again, if we're gonna go play this game, the main person whose statements have been weaponized against the ADOS movement is not Tariq Nasheed, but Yvette Carnell. Again, with the MAGA hat. And the short bus Negroes keep trying to explain to me that she wasn't supporting Trump. I know. But if we are going to sit here and be concerned about what ADOS MAGA trolls can use as ammo, they have already used that as ammo on multiple occasions. Again, this is not about the merits of what Yvette was saying or what her real message was. Just like it's not about the merits of what Tariq was saying. Remember, this is all about what can be construed as what. So if Tone and Yvette are justified in coming at Tariq, or are so-called clarifying what ADOS supports and checking Tariq based on some ADOS MAGA trolls using what Tariq could the possibility that ADOS's MAGA trolls could use that as anti-ADOS propaganda to say that ADOS is secretly a pro-Trump movement. Well, guess what? There's no possibility that the anti-ADOS trolls can use what Yvette says, because they already have. They already have. So again, these are just shining examples of the hypocrisy coming from Yvette. And I said I was going to make these videos relatively short. This video is already 20 minutes, so it's not really short. But I just wanted to reiterate the short bus Negro talking points, or re-debunk the short bus Negro talking points, and drive it home what I'm saying, and really drive home exposing this fake outrage. Because like I said, I misspoke on some of the information in my last video, plus it was really, really long, and I know my supporters can't really, not everyone has the time to listen to a video that long. So I just remade this video, but um, that's it, fam. That's just me re-exposing the fake outrage of how this all started, because this is totally unnecessary. This is totally unnecessary, and I wish it didn't have to come to this, but since it has, and because I know Yvette is going to do her live stream tonight, and she's probably going to put out a bunch of lies and mistruths, I felt the need to go ahead and let this be known, um, and make this clear before she does her broadcast, just so we can all remember how this really started, and we can all remember how this is all really based in fake outrage and was totally inappropriate and unnecessary and didn't have to happen. But anyway, fam, like, share, subscribe. That's another video. Peace.